yet another recording of the online personal trainer, or not online, what am I saying? What is up, everybody? Welcome to another recording of the Fit and Successful podcast. I'm Rusty. It's been a minute. I haven't done one of these in quite a long time. So if you're watching the replay, just comment replay down below. If you're watching this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any other streaming platforms and podcast platforms we have this on, be sure to check out my social media, Full-Time Fit Coach, or Will Girone over on YouTube. That's going to be the two places where I go live while we record this podcast. What's cool about that is if you have questions about the topic, you want to ask me questions, you can drop them in the chat and I answer them live after I end the podcast recording. So if you're watching on the podcast afterwards, when that ends, we do live Q&A. So if this is interesting to you, if these are topics that you want more insight on, you want answers to your personal questions, be sure to stop by and watch them when they're recorded live. We record them live 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Tuesdays and Thursdays currently, and we might up that schedule in the near future. But what I wanted to talk about today, when you get started online, you're going to start looking at ways to get ahead. A lot of these are going to be investing in courses, mentorship programs, masterminds, one-on-one coaching. There's a million different things that you could choose to invest in. And so I want to break down today, how do you do this correctly and how do you avoid the scams? Because like the title of this says, I would say that a good 90% of courses and more importantly, like coaches out there are just scams. And I'll break down how this works as someone who's been in the industry for a long time now. I'll break down how this works, how to avoid it, so you know the exact things to look for when you're looking at investing in gaining more knowledge, growing your skill set, getting someone to look at your business and give you advice on how to grow it. So if you're an online fitness trainer, you're a personal trainer who's looking to go online, you're someone who wants to get started, here is how to navigate the world of online coaching, navigate the world of investing in business coaches without getting burned. I have a post coming up about that. I have a post coming up about it this week. Very interesting post. It talks about how I lost over $100,000 in 2022 investing. Now I still grew my companies. I still saw success, but with trial and error, you get burned sometimes. And I lost over $100,000 this year on bad investments, bad partnership deals, all kinds of stuff. So in doing so, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about just what goes on in this world of online coaching and how to navigate it. So today I'm bringing that to you. So when you look to invest in yourself, when you look to invest in a program, when you want to gain more information about a certain subject, there are three key avenues that you can go down. And it's important that you understand which one is going to serve you best at each step in the process. So for the sake of this example, we're talking to fitness coaches. You're looking to start an offer. You want to go and deliver online fitness coaching, but you don't know how to start. Where should you be looking to gain mentorship, join a program, or buy a course? Where should you be starting? And what is the proper route to go down? And when do you know when to jump to the next thing? Number one, first and foremost, before you start out at all, you should spend a decent amount of time looking into free content. And any coach that doesn't have a lot of free content, I would initially be wary of. Any good coach is going to be giving out a ton of their free content. Why? Because they understand that if it truly is valuable, if it truly works, and they're confident in that people consuming this free value will actually get a result from it. And unlike a lot of the advice out there, when you actually implement advice and you get a really good tangible result from it, you're going to want to come back for more. So good coaches put out a ton of free value and they always direct their clients there first. Now, let's say you've been consuming free value. Maybe it's been a month or two. You've been watching YouTube videos, following people on Instagram, coming onto live streams just like this, or listening to podcast recordings just like this. And you feel like this is where you want to go. You want that financial freedom. You want to go all in, but you don't know how, right? You don't want to just burn all the boats today and quit your job, but you'd also like to start making money doing this. How do you get started? The first thing you want to invest in, the first vehicle to give you more knowledge about a certain topic that you can then implement and start making money, is a course. I don't recommend buying a support program, a mastermind, or one-on-one coaching when you're starting out. And I'll explain that in a minute. You should buy a course first and foremost, always, no matter what it is. I don't care how seasoned of a veteran you are as an entrepreneur. When you're attempting something new, whether it's entrepreneurism as a whole or some new entrepreneurial endeavor, you need to start out by buying a course. Now, courses are going to be in the 250 to 500 range when it's just one specific topic. When they're broader, more all-encompassing, they're going to be covering, the entirety of like starting a business in online fitness coaching. Then you're looking more at $1,000 to $2,000, but nothing above that. Any courses that go above that are likely priced way too high. There's just not enough that you can pack into any single course, in my opinion, that's going to justify charging more than 2K with inflation currently as it is now. As time goes on and this ages, maybe down the road that number changes. But for right now, 2K for a course is the maximum. You should be looking to have 40 to 70 video walkthroughs. It should be a very beefy course. It should teach you more than one topic, right? It should not just be, here's how you run Facebook ads. It should be, here's how you set up an ads agency. Or it shouldn't just be, here's how to DM fitness clients. It should be, here's how to set up a fitness coaching business. Now, if you're looking for just mastery in one of those, let's say that you already have a fitness coaching business and you just want to get better at fitness sales, then buying a course like Fitness Sales 101 for fitness coaches at a price point of $250 to $500 is a perfectly fine investment. With that being said, you want to start with courses. Why? It's a one-time fee. You're not locking yourself into a recurring payment plan. And that's important. When you start working on your business, the last thing you want in the back of your head is this constant scarcity mindset saying, I'm not making enough money and I need to find a way to make money now if I'm going to be able to afford my coaching for the next month. This puts you in this scarcity mindset. You make bad decisions for your company. You make bad decisions for your clients, and people can sniff out your desperation for money from miles away. It stops you from doing all the things you should be doing in the beginning, which is doing work for free, gaining testimonials, giving away a lot of goodwill to get your foot in the door. Instead, because someone has convinced you now to go all in and pay them $500 a month for their coaching, you're worried about making sure you have enough clients on your roster paying you at least $500 a month to break even. Instead, by buying a course, you either out of your savings or the money you've already made by trying out this endeavor with some of the free coursework that you've seen online, you've been able to either generate some revenue or you have some revenue on hand, some cash on hand or a credit card or something you can put it on, and you buy into that first course. Once you've paid that fee, you're done. You have access to this course, preferably lifetime access, but at least access for like a year or something that gives you an extended period of time now where at your own pace, you can start working on this. And as you begin working on this, different problems will arise. But my hope is that as you implement, as long as the course is good and the content in it is actually helpful and applicable to what you're trying to do, you should start seeing customers slowly start to trickle in, income slowly start to rise, and eventually you'll start actually making a profit with this. Now, this isn't in week 1 or week 2. This is you buy a course and you work on it for 2 to 3 months. That will allow you to build the base of this business. But it doesn't just stop there. When you're doing this, you want to have a vision, a goal plan of what you want to get to. And then understanding the steps that get you there is what stops you from skipping steps, going too fast, or ending up in a program where it ruins the momentum that you've created by skipping a step or completely leaving one out. So once you've created some profits, you've got a business that's, let's say, is doing $1,000 to $3,000 per month. And it's relatively consistent now. You've implemented this course, and for the past 2 to 3 months, you've seen more than $1,000 come through in profits from this business. That is when you look to invest in the second type of coaching. The second type of coaching is going to be a support program. And this is commonly what most people jump into right away. And like I said earlier, it leaves them with this feeling of stress and scarcity around their resources, their financial investments, and ultimately just makes them make bad decisions. And either they burn their customers and their customers stop signing up and it fizzles out, or they can't get customers in the door because they're acting so desperately to sign clients and everyone sees right through it and they see it for a money grab. When you get to this point correctly, you're already making $1,000 to $3,000. You kind of know what you're doing. You just want to know how to scale it. You want to see what other coaches are doing. You want someone to give you feedback on how you've been implementing that course before. And so these support groups often work off of curriculum that will be vastly similar to the curriculum you just purchased. But what you're paying for is the group coaching calls, the access to a community of other coaches doing the same thing, the live support calls that they have weekly that cover different topics, where if it's a good program, you can come, listen to the coach talk about the curriculum, ask questions afterwards, and get your questions answered multiple times on a weekly basis so that you're constantly keeping this momentum and moving forward. Now you have accountability and you have the money coming in already to actually be able to afford this program, which is so key. It's just not possible to grow well if you are in a position where you don't have any kind of income to actually invest in that course. Because if you don't have that necessary income, like I said before, you won't make good decisions in your business. So when we jump into that support group, the two things you're looking for: is your income consistently over at least $1,000 per month, so it can easily cover this work that you're trying to do, this payment that you're going to make for this coach? And then two, what is the success rate of this program? Are a lot of people saying good things about it? Is it reasonably priced? Right, the price that you should be looking for is, I believe, $300 to $500 per month is a perfect window. Anything more than that, it's probably a bit of an advanced program, or they're just overcharging you. A $300 to $500 per month ticket price, and if you pay that out in full for the year, anywhere between $3,000 to $6,000. Now, if this price jumps out at you, good. It means you're probably not ready for that course yet. When you're making, let's say, $2,000 to $3,000 per month consistently, you're making $24,000 to $36,000 per year. By investing 3 to 6K, you're investing less than 10% of your business to acquire, well, not quite. You're investing a little bit more than 10% of your business to acquire the skill sets, the accountability, the community to push you forward. And oftentimes what we're looking for is, with that 3 to 6K investment, taking your business from 20 to 30K closer to between 50 and 100. That would be an amazing payoff. And that should be the goal that you have set when joining one of these programs. So whenever you look at a ticket price, you should always say, am I at a place where I can afford this reasonably, like through the business that I'm running? That first course might be an investment. That might be out of your personal money. It's you investing out of money you already have to try to start something new. And that's why I believe it should always be a one-time fee course. But the second jump that you make is, now, do I have a business that's making money? Do I believe that this program is the next vehicle to get me further down the road and take me from making 20, 30K a year in this to full-time between 50 and 100? And if you can say yes, then investing anywhere between $3,000 to $5,000 or $3,000 to $6,000 over the next year, whether that be paid in full or it be paid out in installments of $300 to $500 per month, that is the next best step, because it will automatically generate you an ROI higher than anything else you could do. ROI is a term, it means return on investment, essentially saying if you invest $3,000 to $6,000 and you're able to add 20, 30, 40, even $50,000 extra to your coaching that year, that's an amazing investment. You're not going to take your money and put $3,000 to $6,000 in the stock market and be able to return 20, 30, 40, $50,000 on it that year. That just doesn't exist. So that's the benefit of investing in yourself. And when done correctly, this is an amazing, amazing investment, but you have to attack it the right way. So you've been attacking it the right way and you're starting to see that growth. Now, let's say you're making north of $5,000 per month and you're considering going full time. When you want to go full time, there's another level to this. There's another, I guess, level of complexity, I'll say, to going full time, which is, if you are going to cut ties with the other sources of income you have to make this your full-time gig, you want to make sure that you have systems and processes in place to create predictability and sustainability in that business. It would be foolish to let go of all those other income streams if you don't have reason to believe that this thing that you've created is going to stick around for the long haul. This means incorporating. This means starting to hire team members. This means getting a lead acquisition system in place to get people into your world predictably. So instead of you just hoping a reel pops off where a lot of people apply through a TikTok Live, you now actually have a system that month over month is funneling people in at a predictable and growing rate. And you're building teams around that to support more people into the funnel, more people actually being sold on those calls. And you've got a team to help you with the fulfillment of coaching. As you can see, this is much more high level. That's going to cost you money. It's going to cost you time. If you are not on this full time yet, you're not going to have the time to build this. It takes a full time 6 to 8 hours a day, at least, if not 12 to 16 hours a day when you're building some of these things to get them in place. So at this level, you should be generating enough money from this offer already consistently, like 3 months in a row over 5K, to where you're comfortable going full time. And then you should make an investment into a one-on-one high-level coach or a group mastermind program where you are going to now learn the processes, systems, softwares, and tactics that you can formulaically apply to your business to see sustainable growth. And the entire thing here that people miss is sustainable growth. You do not necessarily want exponential growth. You want growth that is sustainable. I would much rather see your business go from close to 100K per month or 100K per month, sorry, 100K per year to, let's say, 150, 180, because that is growth you can sustain. If you push too hard and too fast, you implement all these things that your business isn't ready for, sure, you might jump to 200 or 300K, but the fulfillment for the customers becomes atrocious. And then your reputation looks really bad. And then no one ends up buying. And then all this work you did gets ruined because you went too fast, too quickly, and you didn't take a sustainable approach to it. So all this to say, when you're at a point where you're ready to start hiring people, you have a good amount of disposable income in the business to start bringing on that first VA, setting up that first sales team, investing in ads, being able to afford better software for your team's management, for your customer relationship management. At that point in the game, that's when you should be looking at a mastermind. That's when you should be looking at one-on-one coaching. The problem is most of you just starting out are going to end up on calls with coaches who are going to try to sell you on this right away. And here's why that's such a bad thing, if you couldn't already figure it out for yourself. They do not care the results you get. They're lazy. And I see this with 90% of programs here. And I think it's about time someone says something about it. So that's why I'm just going to say this. When you have a lazy coach who's worried about making money for themselves and they don't care about the results you're getting, you'll see them have one or two high ticket offers. They're all based around locking you into a contract and then getting you to dump everything else you're doing to go in full time. And this is what I call creating false dependency. You did not depend on them 20 minutes ago, but now that you've decided to quit your job and you've contracted to pay them $6, $10, $20,000 this year without having a business that's making any money yet, you now are fully dependent on their advice to make back the money you owe them. And you're activating out of a place of deep debt that continues to compound on itself with every single month. And then a lot of these coaches, when you try to leave, they will try to charge you the full amount of that contract in full. I've seen it before. I watch it happen every day. Kids get suckered into these programs. They're lied to about what the result's going to be and how fast it's going to happen. And like anything in life, guys, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. You need to know where you're at. You need to be honest with yourself. You need to buy a program or a course that correlates with where you're at and slowly work your way up. If you hop on a call with someone and you're a new coach and they tell you they're going to help you make 10K, 20K in the first month, you need to be wary of that. You need to look at that as likely a scam. And too many coaches do this. It's the equivalent of being a teacher and you teach mathematics. And every kid who comes through who's interested in learning mathematics, you put them in calculus 2 right away. Why? Because as online coaches, business coaches, they set their own rates. They're going to set extremely high rates for the top level mastermind. And when they don't care whether or not you get the program or you get the results from the program, they just care whether or not you get into it. They can assign any price point to that, lock you into any contract, and then hold you to that, whether or not you get the results. And then they hope that your dependency on them now instills enough urgency and drastic action for you to at least make the money back. That's one of the biggest reasons why I try to do things differently. I think that's a terrible way to act. And I've seen it with many of these coaches. They come and go very quickly because scams like that will not last. So if you're an online coach and you are trying to get into the online space, you want to know how to do this, but you're worried about getting scammed, getting the rug pulled out from under you, I will give you the formula right now. One-time fee course to learn the skill set. Never pay more than $2K. You should be paying between $500 to $2,000 for that course. Then give yourself 3 months. Dig in, implement that course, get some momentum, figure out if this is for you. Second, when it is starting to generate revenue and you're seeing months after months of north of $1,000, preferably between $1,000 to $3,000 in revenue, take a portion of that revenue and say, I can now afford to pay $500 a month of this $3,000 into a support level program where I'm getting around other coaches. I have a mentor or a group of coaches who are going through live calls every single week, helping me. I'm getting my questions answered in the community or on the live calls, and it's allowing me to push faster and further towards that full-time goal. And then step 3, once you have achieved that goal of hitting, let's say 5K per month for 3 months in a row, which is the level that I make all my applicants for my mastermind show me. You have to show me bank statements that you've done 5K for the last 3 months in a row. You're not even allowed to apply because I do not want to have you come into my program unprepared where I'm going to then charge you my top level rate when you're not ready for that. I'd rather you be housed in the bucket that's going to help you the most. When you're at 5K per month for more than 3 months, then and only then should you jump into a application for a high level program. And I would say apply to 2 or 3. Apply to 2 or 3, go through the entire process, and look for who is trying to pressure you the most versus who's trying to present you the data that they have and let you make a good decision for yourself. If someone is using high pressure sales tactics, that's all they're going to teach you how to do. And it's probably another red flag that they're just out here to make a cash grab. So, course, implement it, start making some money, use the money you're making consistently from what that course taught you to then invest in a support level program. When that support level program gets you nearly to 5K or over 5K and you're sustaining that, then look at joining a mastermind or high level one-on-one coaching. If you follow it this way, you will build a sustainable business. You'll build a sustainable form of income that you can carry on to other aspects of your life, and you can begin expanding. I call it a breakout offer. If you're looking to create a breakout offer and you're a fitness coach, start with fitness and then use that to break into any other realm that you'd like to. But you need to be patient. You need to be honest with where you're at, and then use this guide to find the right category of product to start buying in on. And I'll go through the prices one more time. If you're a beginner, course, $500 to $2,000, 3 months you spend on that. When you're making 1 to 3K, support group, $3,000 to $6,000 for the year, $250, $300 to $500 per month subscription. Do that until you reach sustainable, consistent 5K plus months. At that rate, buy into a mastermind. The formula for finding what mastermind is right for you, you should be spending between 10 to 20% of what you believe will be the revenue goal you're shooting for, and be realistic here. Don't say I'm going to be a millionaire year one. If you're making $40,000, $50,000, then a realistic goal would be somewhere between $80,000 and $100,000. You should be investing 10 to 20% of that into the cost of that mastermind. So to make the math simple, if you want to make $100,000 this year, you're currently making 40 to 60K with your offer, and you want to get over $100,000, then a 10% course would be $10,000. 20% course would be $20,000. So your window of what you're looking for should be a quote between $10,000 to $20,000 to join that mastermind. And that mastermind should be targeted specifically to your industry, to exactly what you do, what you're trying to achieve. And it should be a non-high pressure sales tactic mastermind. You should have checked out a couple others. One will definitely shine through. You'll find a good coach who's worried about helping you get results, not high pressure sales and forcing you to try to buy in at any cost. Follow this, use this in your quest to become an online coach. I hope this was valuable to you. And as always, I will be answering questions at the end of this recording. So thank you all so much for joining into this episode of the podcast. And I will see you guys on the next one. I'm super happy to be back. I'm super rusty, but we'll get better as time goes on. And then for anyone who's live in the chat, I'd love to answer some questions. I'll see you in there. Peace.